Good morning everyone and welcome to this class. This session is for class 6th, subject Social Science, chapter number 8 of Geography. So the new chapter we are going to start today, as we have completed chapter number 7 of Geography, that was Our Country India, in which we have done the physical and political division of India. Now we'll discuss little more about our country. So what is the name of the chapter? Let's see. India, climate, vegetation and wildlife. So here in this chapter we'll discuss about India's climate, vegetation and wildlife. And it's going to be our lecture number 1. And today's lecture basically will be covering climate and wildlife. Vegetation we will be taking in next lecture. So let's see the topics to be discussed in today's lecture. They are weather and climate. These two phenomena we'll discuss here. Then major seasons of India. Which seasons, as we experience different seasons there in our country. So we'll talk about the major seasons, those we experience that as Indians. Then factors affecting climate, which are the factors that really affect the climate of a particular place, that we'll discuss. Then wildlife in India. So the different type of animals, birds they are in India we'll discuss here. And at last there will be the homework. So listen all the topics carefully so that you will be able to attempt the questions. Number 1, weather. What is this weather and how do we define it? Weather is about day-to-day changes in the atmosphere. It includes changes in temperature, rainfall, sunshine, etc. Means when we are talking about the day-to-day atmospheric conditions, like the day is hot today, or the day is cloudy, the day is rainy. So during that particular time we are talking about the weather conditions. We call it weather because weather is short time phenomena basically. So it is condition of the atmosphere at a particular place and time. Means when we are talking about a exact time or short time period for the atmospheric condition of a particular place. So that time we are talking about the weather. For example, the day may be hot or cold, sunny or cloudy, clear, windy and calm. So different these words we talk about here. The weather conditions basically we are talking about the short time period. So weather is the short time phenomena when we are talking about day to day changes there in the atmosphere regarding temperature, rainfall, sunshine. Clear? Now what is climate? Climate is basically long term phenomena. When the same type of weather remains at a particular place, that is basically the climate of that place. We can take example of hilly areas. There we know that weather remains cool for the longer time period. So that is the climate of that place. That climate of the hilly region, that is cold. Clear? So how we define this? Climate is the average weather conditions of any place over a long period of time. So what is the difference? When we are talking about climate, it means that is the long time phenomena when average type of, this is average weather conditions basically, means the same type of weather that remains for the longer time. That is climate of that particular region. As if we talk about the climate of desert, we know that the desert, the hot desert, if we talk about the climate, the temperature that remains high. So there we can talk about the climate of desert, that is hot. Clear? So that is basically the long term phenomena. Weather is short term phenomena when we are talking about day to day changes, and climate is long term phenomena when the same weather conditions they remain for the longer time. So that is the climate of that particular area. Clear? Now, factors affecting climate. What type of climate a particular place has, that different factors are there that affect the climate of a particular place. Let's see the factors. First of all, latitude. The places near the equator are hotter in comparison to the places far from equator. If you remember, we had done about the latitudes, and in those latitudes, equator it is 0 degree latitude, and we know that near the area near the equator we talked about there the torrid zone that receive maximum heat from the sun. So these areas remains hotter than in comparison to the areas far from the equator. So the places near the this equator, they have the hot climate, then the other places, those are far away from the equator. The first reason, latitude of a particular place that affect the climate of that place. Then altitude. The temperature of a place depends on its height. The higher the places, the lower the temperature. Means as we go up at the heights, there the temperature decreases. That we know. Clear? So when we go at the higher altitudes, the temperature of those places remains lower than the places those are at the lower altitudes. Clear the second factor? Third is distance from the sea. Large water bodies produce a moderating influence of temperature of the nearly places or nearby places. How? Because the reason is that we call that the places near the seas or oceans, they have the moderate temperature. They means the temperature that does not go so high or so low. The moderate type of climate they have. The reason, because the land that observe the heat sooner than the sea, than the water, you can say. Clear? So during the day when the areas, the land that becomes hot, so the cold winds they blow from the sea to the land, and the temperature decreases due to that. So moderate type of climate that is found there near the sea areas. Clear? As we go inside it, the temperature obviously it increases. The next reason, winds. Seasonal winds also affect the climate of any place. India's climate is also influenced by seasonal winds. Seasonal winds means the winds those blow at in particular season. Like if we take example of India, there the southwest monsoon winds, they blow from sea to land, and they become the cause of rain. So during that particular season they blow there in rainy season. So those type of winds, they influence the particular temperature, particular climate of the different places there in India. And in during the winter season, the winds from eastern areas, the cold winds, they blow there into the different parts of India, and due to that the temperature that decreases. So this type of these are different factors, they affect the climate of a particular place. Clear? Now the next topic it is, there are, okay, here we'll talk about the Indian climate basically. There are regional differences in the climate of India. Regional means the different places have the different type of climate. That because the different physical features, as in the previous chapter we talked about, the different physical features are found there in India. So due to that the climate differences are there. Like for example, Jaisalmer and Bikaner in the desert of Rajasthan are very hot, while Dras and Kargil in Ladakh are very cold. So they all are the part of India, but Bikaner and Jaisalmer, they are the part of hot desert. They are in Rajasthan, so the climate that is hot there. But Dras and Kargil, they are at high altitude. They are in Ladakh, so these places are cold. So these are regional differences there. One more example we can take here. Mount Sinram in Meghalaya receives the world's highest rainfall, while a particular year it might not rain at all in Jaisalmer, Rajasthan. Means here the another example, it is all about the rainfall. Mount Sinram in Meghalaya. Meghalaya is one of the states that are in India. They are in northeastern states. So there Mount Sinram is a place which receives world's highest rainfall in a year. Clear? And in a particular year, if we talk about, it might not rain at all in Jaisalmer, that because that is the dry area, that is desert part. Clear? So these are the regional differences in the climate of India. Now mainly how we categorize the climate of India, just see major seasons of India. What seasons? Means particular time periods are there for the particular climate, particular type of climate here. So we'll talk about the major seasons of India, as we experience different type of seasons here in India. Like first one, cold weather or winter season from December to February. The temperature that decreases that we experience the cold weather here, and that is our winter season from December to February. Then second is hot weather season or summer season from March to May. During these particular months from March to May, basically we experience very hot weather, and during that particular time even the hot dry winds they blow there. They are known as loo, Loo, loo. So that particular time the temperature that remains high. Then third, southwest monsoon season or rainy season from June to September. That varies little bit. Maybe the monsoon that comes there in starting of the June in some areas, and in some areas it comes there in July. Okay, so southwest monsoon season. Why the southwest monsoon the name has been given? Because in India most of the rain that is brought by the southwest monsoon winds. So southwest monsoon season means rainy season, because these monsoon winds bring rain there in India from June to September. Then season of retreating monsoon or autumn. Retreating monsoon, when we talk about the southwest monsoon, during that particular time the winds blow from sea to land and they bring moisture and become the cause of rain. But in season of retreating monsoon, the winds they blow from land to ocean or land to water, so they are dry during that time. Clear? So that season, that is autumn season. But in autumn season, few parts of India they get the rain. The coastal areas of Tamil Nadu, basically they are Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, they receive the rain during this autumn season or the season of retreating monsoon. So these are main seasons that are in India. Clear? Now the climate of India has broadly been described as monsoon type of climate. Means if we talk about what type of the conclusion, if you say, so broadly it is described as monsoon type of climate, because in India most of the rain that is dependent we get from the monsoon winds, and the farmers they are totally dependent on that monsoon season for their crops. Like most of the rain is brought by monsoon winds here. Agriculture in India is dependent on rain. Good monsoon means a large quantity of the crop. Clear? So here one question is also given in exercise. which winds bring rain to India? So here we can write that most of the rain is brought by monsoon winds. And what are the benefits? The benefits that the Indian farmers, they are dependent on this rain. And secondly, you can write the good monsoon means good rain, and good rain means the large quantity of the crops. Clear? This is how we can describe the climate of India. Now, the next topic is wildlife in India. If we talk about wildlife, so suddenly that comes in our mind wild, that is related to the forest basically. That portion, that part will be covering in next lecture. So wildlife means the life of plants, animals basically, not plants, animals, different insects or birds, they are in the forest. So what type of different animals and birds they are living there in India? Here we are going to discuss the wildlife in India. Forests are the home of a variety of wildlife. There are many species of animals and a large variety of reptiles, amphibians, mammals, birds and insects live in the forest. We know that the forest that is habitat for different type of animals, mammals, birds, insects. So here also if we talk about India, so different forests are there, and in those forests different species of animals and variety of amphibians, mammals and insects they are found. So let's talk about the wildlife here. For example, Gir forest in Gujarat is home of Asiatic lions. So here you must remember that Gir forest that is located there in Gujarat, and it is home for Asiatic lions. Clear? Or if we talk about our national animal, tiger, that our national animal is tiger, and it is basically the Bengal tiger that is basically found there in West Bengal. The next thing, lion, elephants, one-horned rhinoceros are found in forest of Assam. So the forest there in Assam, it has different type of animals like elephants, lions, one-horned rhinoceros. And these animals they are also found there in Kerala and Karnataka. Camels and wild asses are found in Great Indian Desert. Clear? So all these you have to learn only, that what type of animal are found in which particular forest. Clear? So camels and wild asses they are found in Great Indian Desert. If we talk about Himalayan region, that also we'll discuss here. Wild goats, snow leopards and bears they are found there in Himalayan region. So these are the animals found there in cold areas in Himalayan region. Along with the animals, different types of birds are also found there in India like parrot, pigeon, manna, bulbul, ducks, etc. Along with this many other birds are also found. And if we talk about our national bird, that is peacock. Clear? So along with these different reptiles like variety of snakes, cobras, they are also available there in India. So this is all about the wildlife of India. If the question is there, explain the wildlife of India. So all these points that which type of animals are found here, that you will explain in that. Due to cutting of the forest and hunting, many species of wildlife of India are declining. We know that due to the decrease of the forest area, the different animals, the number of animals, they are going to decrease. We can take example of tiger. The number of tiger they are very less, and even different programs that government has been started to stop hunting of those animals there. So now we'll discuss about how some migratory, one more thing is left, some migratory birds such as pelican, flamingo, Siberian crane, stork, etc. migrate to our country in winter season. We know that in some of the areas there are too cold, so these birds like Siberian cranes, they migrate themselves there in winter season from Siberia to India, and they remain here for this winter season basically, because they are in that area, the areas they are frozen, so they migrate themselves. These are the migratory birds. Those migrate from one place to another, especially in winter season, to escape from the very cold weather there. Now we'll discuss about the conservation and protection of wildlife, means how the government is taking different steps to save the wildlife. Clear? Hunting and poaching of wild animals have been banned. Hunting and poaching. Poaching means illegal hunting, you can say. So hunting and poaching that of wild animals, that has been banned basically there in India. Then national parks, bird sanctuaries and biospheres have been set up here. National parks, you can say the particular area, the parks, those are built to conserve the animals there. Bird sanctuaries, they are basically built made for the birds, like you can take example of Sultanpur. Clear? And biosphere, to conserve the different biospheres there, different resources that these biospheres are made up. So these all are set up there in India. Programs like Project Tiger and Project Elephant have been started here. Why the specific these programs they have been started? To conserve tigers and elephants here. Then we observe Wildlife Week in the first week of October to create awareness among the people about different animals. So we celebrate the Wildlife Week in the first week of October here. And why we celebrate it? To bring the awareness in the people, to bring the awareness among the people for the conservation of wildlife. We are well maintaining the existence of reserves, the biospheres or sanctuaries, whatever we have, we are well maintaining the existence of all these reserves. So these are some steps that government take to protect the wildlife or to conserve the wildlife. Clear about it? So with this topic, today's matter that is completed. We have covered the weather and climate phenomena today. Then we have done the factors affecting the climate. We talked about the India's climate and also different seasons that we experience. Along with that, we have also covered the wildlife there and the steps that for the conservation of wildlife. Clear? I hope that all these topics are clear. Now it's time for homework. Do the following questions there in your fair register. Which wind bring rainfall in India? Why is it so important? So firstly you will write the name, then you will write why it is important. Then question number 2, name the different seasons in India. Here you will write the seasons along with the time period also there. Then the third question, this is third, describe the wildlife in India. So all that we discussed about the wildlife, you can make the points and you can write here in this question. Question number 4, what is being done in India to preserve wildlife? Here you will write the steps for conservation of the wildlife. Clear? So these questions you will attempt them. Now it's time for homework solution of lecture number 2 of chapter 7 that was left. So question 1, it was there, name the major physical divisions of India. Here name is written, so I'll write only name, but if explain them it is written, so you will explain, you have to explain all major divisions one by one. So the names are, the major physical divisions of India are, number 1, the Himalayan mountain, number 2, the northern Indian plain, number 3, the great Indian desert, number 4, the peninsular plateau, Number 5, the coastal plains. And number 6, the islands. So you'll write the names there. Then question number 2 was, which two major rivers fall into the Arabian Sea? So I'll write here Narmada and Tapti. They are also known as the west flowing rivers. Question number 3, it was, why do a large number of people live in the northern plains? So this question actually this has been done in previous chapters also. So again we are doing it. A large number of people live in northern plains as these river plains are fertile, so they can sustain large population. The reason, the agriculture can be done there. Clear? The next point, means of transport are developed here. Number 3, more opportunities of employment exist in the plain area. Why? Because the different factories or the companies, they are easy to set up there in the plain areas. Then number 4, it is suitable for human habitation due to flat land. That is also true. Then number 4, why is Lakshadweep known as a coral island? Answer, Lakshadweep is known as a coral islands as, number 1, it is made up of corals. Corals are skeletons of tiny marine animals called polyps. So how these islands are made? They are formed by the marine animals called polyps. Climate and sea water are suitable for the growth of these polyps or the marine animals. Their skeletons pile up and form coral islands. Number 5, the question it was, differentiate between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. So firstly we will discuss here the Western Ghats. The Western Azo-Peninsular Plateaus are called Western Ghats. They are continuous, means the breaks are not there in between. Number 3, their height is 1000 to 1600 meters from the sea level. Then the Eastern Ghats, the Eastern Azo-Peninsular Plateau are Eastern Ghats. They are broken and uneven, means they are not continuous, they are broken in between. Then the third difference, their height is 300 to 900 meters from the sea level. So this is all about the homework solution of lecture 2, chapter number 7 of geography. I hope that all these questions you have already completed, but please check the points written here and compare your answer. So that's it for today. We will be meeting for the next lecture. So till then, thank you and have a nice day.